iHeart Podcasts. Hear more Gold 101.7 podcasts.
Playlists and listen live on the free iHeart app.
It's Jonesy and Amanda's got no flaw. It's Jonesy and Amanda's got no flaw.
A former POW, Keith Flanagan, has said, to us, he takes precedence over Ned Kelly, Farlap, Les Darcy, Simpson, even Don Bradman as the greatest Australian hero of all time. He was talking about Weary Dunlop. And the fabulous Peter FitzSimons has written a book about the amazing Weary Dunlop and joins us now. Hello, Peter.
Hello, Jonesy and Amanda, not in that order. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
For those that don't know the Weary Dunlop story, who was Weary?
He was an extraordinary man. He came to fame as a doctor on the Thai-Burma Railway, commander of Dunlop Force, and he basically got his men together and said, we are Australians, we're going to look after each other as Australians. And he said that basically the officers that were getting a stipend from Geneva Convention, we're going to put all of our money in a pool and buy food for our own soldiers. One of the officers said, I don't want to do that. Weary said, you're not listening to me. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. On the other side of the river, a British battalion moved in and they used the British class system where all of the best food, the best medical care, the best tents went to the British officers. And according to Tom Uren, the famous parliamentarian, who was one of the POWs there, 600 of them marched in, only 50 of the Brits marched out. And he believed in the value system of Weary Dunlop. And Tom Uren became the mentor and quasi-father of our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, at least a father figure.
Right. How did he get the name Weary again? I know this, but I've forgotten.
In the 1930s, they were known as Dunlop tyres were the big deal, so Tyres, but it was a wordplay of Tires, as in Dunlop, Weary, Edward Dunlop tyres. And so it was wordplay because he was the most energetic bastard that ever lived. He was doing pharmacy, he was doing medicine, he played rugby for Australia, he got a scholarship to England to study surgery, and then when he was in the war, he was a rat of Tobruk, and of course, as we say, the hero of the Thai-Burma Railway.
Was he just one of those characters that just the war brings out something different in them? Was he just an ordinary man who just rose to the top like this?
Yes, absolutely. Who did extraordinary things. One of the most extraordinary episodes. There was a soldier that was on a bed, and he'd lost both eyes, he'd lost two hands, and he'd lost one leg because a mine had blown up. The Japanese came in, and the Japanese officer, shouted to one of his soldiers to kill that man. Weary stood in front of the soldier on the bed, the POW, and said, any bayonet that goes through him has to go through me first. And he constantly protected his own men. And the leverage that he had over the Japanese were that they were ill-treating the Australian POWs. They were only giving them 2 cups of rice a day. They weren't giving them anything sustenance, but they needed Weary to keep those men alive so they'd keep working on the Thai-Burma Railway. But time and again, he demonstrated extraordinary courage.
Wow.
What happened after the war with Weary?
He was the Australian of the Year. He was a famous surgeon. He was a famous advocate for POWs. So he was an influence on Menzies. He was an influence on Whitlam, and basically saying that the POWs have given so much that those that come back should be getting free dental care, free medical care. They need to be looked after. And the POWs loved him so much. I talked to his former secretary in the bureau, the office where he worked as a doctor. Sometimes POWs from all over Australia, sometimes they would just come and they'd sit there for the day because they just wanted to be near Weary. Weary made them feel safe.
Wow. What an extraordinary tale. And once again, you bring it to life, Pete. This is a great book. It's available right now, The Courageous Life of Weary Dunlop. Anything else? How's the house going, mate? Do you want us to sell the house as well? We can do that for you if you want.
Funny you should say that. Watch this space.
Well, it's
Thank you.
happening.
I'm the secret buyer. It can be revealed now.
Amanda was going to come through and be a time waster.
See ya. Thanks so much for having me,
Lots
guys.
of love,
Bye-bye.
Pete. Love to Lisa.
See you,
Bye.
mate. Bye.
Okay, kids, that's it for today. Come back tomorrow for more of Jonesy and Amanda's cutting room floor.